Hey rivals, welcome to Back's Attacks. The February 3rd upgrade to Rival Kingdoms had some of the most sweeping changes to Ancients in the game. Many of them got very significant buffs, and I'd like to go over those, show some of the important changes in that. And rather than rush through, we're going to take 3 episodes to do that. First, note that the Raider bonus has been fixed in the daily and arena battles. That was very handy to see. Now the biggest new feature added to the game is the base editor, and this is very welcome. The remove all button itself is probably one of the most handy things, and you can remove and put back in place any buildings that you want, revert your changes, or keep them. So hopefully that'll help you to switch your base up when you get up to a new stronghold leveled. I hope in a future upgrade you can save multiple layouts. Alright, now there's a new ancient trial called Hunting Artemis, and that is to use to get the Artemis bow, which can upgrade Kestra to a new level, to rare, and she gets a new spell with that at level 31 called Marksmanship. That's really quite interesting. We'll take a closer look at that later. I also love the number of diamonds you get on the way for partial progress in the events. The challenging thing there is that you need to have Amani and get her up to level 25 in order to get Artemis. There will be other Artemises available later through other events as well. And it goes up one step at a time, from superior to rare, then epic, then up to legendary. I think it's really interesting that they use the Ascension mechanic to give her a whole another new spell, but there's a downside to that. So let's take a look at her tree, and you'll see it's pretty normal up to level 30. At 31 you get the Marksmanship. However, they adjust the tree so that as you go further down the line there, you'll notice there's no further increases in mana. So at least through level 40 here, she still has only 5 mana. And I'm not sure if that changes in Epic or not, but if not, that's going to be a major downside, although the Marksmanship spell looks quite interesting. Alright, now really for details on this, you want to look at their wiki page. It has full notes on that. You can see they upgraded a number of different Ancients, Bainma, Amani, Golgogg, Isabeau, which I don't have, Carrot Sunstaff, Marionette. Adhera got a much needed boost as well. Yagumo got a little bit extra punch as well. We'll take a look at all these that I have. Taliesin and Tokemi. Tokemi really has a new spell on the third one. That's interesting. Yalenati we're definitely going to take a look at in some detail tonight as well. In addition, down at the bottom, you'll see that they changed how the lightning towers work. Still not how useful that is. And note here on the system changes, they've affected how the execute works on the mithril for like the arrow launchers. And before, what happened when troops were hit by the execute from the arrow launcher, they would remain vulnerable to that 10% death for several other hits by other units. And now the execute only applies to the damage that the arrow launcher or the watchtower applies by itself. So that's a major change in practice to the execute, and it really has gone down in effectiveness. Okay, so let's take a look at what was briefly by far the most powerful ancient in the game, way overpowered, so much so that SpaceApe actually had a hotfix to change that within 24 hours. Alright, now the big change with Yalenati was that the third spell, the Plague, would recast and reset the duration on the spell if you cast the spell a second time. Now that's a good thing. It keeps the plague from dying out, and if that was all it did, that would be a pretty useful change. However, what happened accidentally was basically that the damage from the plague would also get reapplied or added on whenever the spell was recast. And so once you had just a couple of buildings dying and the plague happening several places, is that the buildings would just melt all across the base. So it looks here like I'm in bad shape with the attack, but in reality, there's like chain reaction that goes on. So you'll see once the buildings fall down here, they don't just all fall singly. They just fall to pieces. The whole base melts. There's just nothing left. And that was a pretty poorly executed attack, to be honest, but even that one just wiped out the base. let me show you a little bit of a better example on that. Now, now this obviously is not a difficult win, but I wanted to show how even versus a base that would normally just destroy my troops very easily, instead the tables are going to be turned and Yalenati is going to wipe out this base. And I'm going to demonstrate an approach or a troop mix that is very popular with Yalenati or with other ones where you're looking to spam the third spell, and that is to use all mana hunters. So we'll just put all of those in. Mine are level 8. Sweep the dragon across the base for a spell tower distraction, and we're going to put down that plague. The birds will take out a few buildings and get us enough mana to recast the plague a few times. And I'm just sprinkling in a few of the first spells just for flavor. But really, that base is just being demolished. And with my level troops and my level ancients, there's no way that should happen. Alright, so all that was how it looked before they had the fix, and now I'm going to show some changes after the fix that they made, using the same level 41, Yalenati in this case. Notice the damage on that S3 has been reduced, and the ability for it to just have a chain reaction that wipes out the base has also been fixed. Alright, so I'm going to use a pretty normal troop composition here, a mixture of soldiers and paladins with 1 mana hunter and a warden as well. It's an SH14 going against another stronghold 14. And the idea here is still to spread out the troops just a little bit and to sweep across for a distraction, save up the mana to get that plague down. And again, the sweep both helps to distract and to give a little lifesteal when I'm using Malice here. The plague slows the attack rate 50%, which is very nice in itself, and the damage that it does is also quite useful. And so the troops are taking out that base very nicely, but so in other words, the Yalenati is still very effective even after the change. She's still a very good ancient, kind of fun to use, but just not the major overpowered beast that she was before the fix. So if you don't have Yalenati at a decent level, I recommend checking her out. Alright, now here's just another example, and for this one, take a look at Kestra from Fire Element in using Yalenati. Hers is a higher level, and this is against a pretty tough Stronghold 15. Kestra is Stronghold 14, again level 8 birds. And a similar approach here. Spreading out the troops. Save up for that plague. Now the troops are getting hurt here, but they're going to last and be able to get it done. Reducing that attack rate really is helpful to keeping the troops alive, and the damage is very beneficial as well. And with the double damage from the first spell, that stronghold just goes down very quickly if you can get to it. I don't even have the dragon alive. Usually that's a good way to do it, is to tank at the end with the dragon and use that first spell. But there we go, a very, very powerful attack against a stronghold 15. Okay, so now let's switch gears a bit to what is now the most dominant ancient in the game. And it is one you might not expect, and it is Golgogg. Basically, it's because of the first spell there, the Blood Pyre. Affected troops become immune to damage, but fatally explode after 7 seconds. That's how it was. But now, if you recast the spell, it will reset the delay before the detonation. And so basically, by casting that multiple times, the troops are immune to getting killed, and yet they can last for much more than the initial 7 seconds. So now this is with a very low-level Golgogg, and not very high-level birds, but I just want to show you how this works. All right. Now, also, what's important about this spell is using the second spell, Kindle, in order to force the troops to go in and attack the stronghold. Alright, so we're just building up mana at this point. Things are starting to look pretty good. We'll get that first spell, the Blood Pyre, down. Within 7 seconds, I'm going to have to recast it. So now they're still immune, still getting closer. And they were able to take out the stronghold without even having to explode. So I'm just going to keep on using that first spell. And many players have reported that the first spell is a little bit inconsistent. If you spam it too rapidly, what happens is that the troops will die before the 7 seconds. Not sure why that is, but I've seen it on many replays, so there's something in truth about that. What I like to do, and what others are doing basically, is after that first cast of the spell, just hold off about 5 seconds. There's no need to cast it every 2 or 3 seconds. In fact, that can cause the troops to explode, but you definitely want to do it before 7 seconds. Alright, so going against a tough base with a very low level Golgogg, we were able to wipe through that really pretty nicely. Going to switch gears a little bit. LT Baxter this time, who has higher level birds, and I want to show you the bird attack with Golgogg. And it's pretty massive. You get the spell 1, spell 2, spell 1 a couple times. And when those birds get on the stronghold with immunity, boom, it's going down. And once again, actually that boom came from the birds doing the damage under the immunity, and they didn't even have to explode. And so they continued to stay alive and to take out the rest of the base until the detonation kicks in. So again, that is not a base I would normally crush that easily, but with Golgogg and birds, it's not that bad. Alright, let me show one more replay from the attack log, and this is definitely against a base I have no business defeating, and we're going to use Golgogg and the birds. So you'll notice here, you wanted to get up enough mana, or using a mana potion to get enough mana. Cast the S1 early to get the immunity. Cast the second spell, the Kindle, to get them on top of the stronghold, and then spam that S1 as you need to in order to keep them alive to take out the stronghold. And there we have it, really quite easily done. I really have a suspicion that Golgogg and or birds are definitely going to have to get rebalanced or nerfed in a future release. I just don't know how quick that'll come. What I am finding is that you don't really need a super high level Golgogg to do this, so I would encourage you to get your Golgogg up to maybe 26 or 31 if you have them, and do some experimentation with that. And just one last example, this is from Eli, Immortality Elite, who's has higher level troops than I do, and he's taken out a near max Stronghold 16. Very strong base here from the Hoplite Kingdom. And it's the same approach. He's got higher level birds. I think actually they're level 9, they're not even max here. And he's using just a couple at first to get the mana, so he's not using any booster potion here. Sends in the bulk of the birds. Sends them after the stronghold. Protects them and gets them pumped up with the first spell. We cast that. And they don't even have to explode to take out the stronghold. And by recasting it, he can continue and wipe out the rest of the base. And I'm seeing this reported by a number of clans and players. They're just able to take out Stronghold 16s with ease if they have high level birds. So next time I'll take a look at the other buffed ancients and see which ones are worth using. If you have comments on which ones you like, let me know. Thanks for watching.